Welcome to Quays TV News. I'm Jamie MacKrell.
And I'm Tiffany Sweeney. Coming up on today's show.
Could we start seeing female bishops in the Church of England from next year?
It's reading time for children in Salford.
And find out what happened when two rugby rivals locked horns. Hello there. We start with the issue of equality in the Church of England. It's 20 years since the first female priests were ordained.
With the ratio of males and females being ordained now at 50-50, could we start seeing women also being appointed as bishops? Siobhan Maguire has more.
In her 10 years as a priest, Reverend Sarah Kearney has conducted hundreds of services at St Clement's Church in Salford. She doesn't like the tag of female priest, but believes they certainly bring something new to the clergy.
I think women priests do bring a different dimension. I don't think they are better than male priests, but I think they do bring a different dimension to the worship. And people of the congregation and of the community sometimes prefer to go to a woman than to a man, and vice versa.
The next step for the Church is the introduction of female bishops. Having failed in an initial bid in 2012, England hopes that new proposals next year will help bring them in line with other nations such as Scotland and Ireland.
I've been a strong supporter for a long time now of women as bishops. It seems that God is calling women in just the same way as he's calling men. I felt slightly strange at my stage of life a few years ago, suddenly finding myself turning up at meetings with 50 people, all of them men. That's not what British society is up to nowadays, and so I'm sure that having women as well as men as bishops in those meetings, it'll do something to change the dynamic, and we'll make better decisions as a result.
Since changes have come in Ireland and Scotland, it seems inevitable that it will happen in England. But it may not be something that's for everyone.
You can't just become a priest and then a bishop, you know. And my age, etc., is against me, and, you know.
This church uses the quote, "For nothing will be impossible with God." Time will tell if this will stretch to include women bishops. This is Siobhan Maguire, Quays TV News.
5,000 visitors flocked to the opening of Manchester's Central Library on Saturday.
The £50 million project hopes to attract 2 million visitors per year. Lewis Smith has more.
Manchester Central Library may not look like a hub of all things cutting edge from the outside, but inside, £48 million of renovation has made this one of the most innovative learning spaces in the country. After 3.5 years of closure, the library opened its doors on Saturday, and the latest in touchscreen technology, e-archives and digitalised cataloguing was not lost on the Manchester public.
Well, funny enough, I'm just noticing that building across there where it says one amazing space, and I think that could equally be said of this one here. It is a bit awe-inspiring.
I decided to come and have a look at the library, and we've been amazed by it. It's lovely.
I was trying to calculate what the technology might be worth in there because it's just amazing. There's computers everywhere.
The library now displays more historical artefacts than ever before, and the new vaults are designed to maintain rare and delicate materials from a bygone era.
Well, what we've tried to do is make sure that the archives are accessible as possible for new audiences to engage with them. So we've digitised loads of material.
It's very easy to Google and, come up with 1,000 different things as part of your search, but actually to interpret the quality of that information and maybe the right level of information that people need to access. I think that's where libraries play a really important role.
Manchester Central Library plays a key role in the cultural landscape of this city. With these new innovations, it's set for another exciting chapter in its already enthralling story. Lewis Smith, Quays TV News.
University of Salford lecturer Neil Withnell has been shortlisted by the Student Nursing Times for the Lecturer of the Ward Year.
Neil is one of 9 finalists and has been chosen due to his exceptional lecturing techniques, although he is no stranger to awards, having been nominated by his students on several occasions.
People say, what is it about you? Why do you get nominated? I suppose you could ask the students that question because they're the ones that nominate me. Them 3 awards you just mentioned were all from the students. I didn't apply for those. The students nominated me. So I'm not sure. Like I say, I just do my job and it's something that I thoroughly enjoy.
The decision will be announced in May.
Now we're over to Jenny with all the latest in entertainment, and we've heard there has been a celebrity split that everyone is talking about. Is that right, Jenny?
It is, I'm afraid, Tiff. Coldplay's lead singer Chris Martin and his Oscar-winning wife Gwyneth Paltrow have announced they are separating after 10 years of marriage. The actress announced the split on her lifestyle website Goop and described it as civilised. Now, lots of you took to Twitter to discuss the matter. Got a lot of sad tweets and feeling sad because they're separated. And there's also this tweet as well. I do know who they are, but should we be more interested in their private lives? If you've got an opinion, get to us on @Quays News. Now, moving on to more local news, children across Salford have been discovering the joy of new books, authors and storytelling. Michael MacKrell has been announced the winner of the Children's Book Awards. Carly Foster has more.
The winner of the round, best book of the last 10 years, winner is
Michael MacKrell.
Hundreds of children explored the world of literature at the Salford Children's Book Awards. Winners of the award in the last 10 years recently came together to battle it out to become the winner of all winners. The special event promoted to youngsters the sheer fun of reading and the benefits it can bring.
You can step into your own world a bit and see how they're going through their idea. It's like an escape from the real world and into your own imagination. Reading is really important to me because if you don't read, you might not get a good job or a good education because these are words you could use in the future.
Several children voted for their favourite read in the annual Salford Community Leisure Libraries Award. In the end, it was Michael MacKrell's Shadow and Private Peaceful that scooped the majority of votes, but unfortunately the author could not attend the event.
And as well as honouring the winners themselves, the children had the opportunity to critique some of the author's work.
It's about having them learn about how other people live, about the world of imagination, and just being lost in books.
The event also recognised that children are reading more books, but across different platforms.
We're all looking at Facebook and we're looking at things like this. People are therefore reading less long, contiguous sort of blocks of text. On the other hand, they're still reading. I don't really see much evidence that they're not reading, and they're reading more books as well in some weird way.
This year's Winner of Winners has encouraged more young Salfordians to read and write their own books. Maybe they too can be winners in the future. Carly Foster, Quays TV News.
Now, joining me in the studio is our film critic Will Carlisle with his verdict on Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, what did you make of the film?
Okay, let me just preface everything I'm about to say with the fact that I love the Marvel films. I love all from Iron Man, Thor, Avengers, I love them all, and I think that Marvel are creating some of the most intelligent and exciting blockbusters of the moment. So it's from a place of love that I have to say I was a bit let down with The Winter Soldier. It's a good film. I don't dispute me on that, it's a great film. But I think it's just a decent Marvel movie. It's got some very intelligent themes, and despite the fact that it's a Captain America movie, it seems to be criticizing American militarism and just the lengths that America will go to keep its citizens safe or protected. But I think the movie is in such a rush to get from one action set piece to another, and they are good action set pieces, but so many of the fine details get lost within the cracks.
And how would you compare it to the first one?
I think it's on par with the first one. The first one I think is one of the weaker pre-Avengers movies, but still a good movie. And it's kind of like with Pixar and animation. Even when they have an off year, they're still creating some of the best animated films of that year. And Marvel are the same. So if you're a Marvel fan, you're probably going to see it already. I went to the midnight screening 12 hours ago. I was first in line to see this movie. So if you're a Marvel fan, you'll see it and you'll enjoy it. But I think if you're a regular moviegoer, you'll still enjoy it, but you won't get nearly as much out of it.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Media City UK restaurant Damson was certainly not in distress when the charity dinner Too Many Critics took place. The event brought in top food writers and critics to judge the evening's delicacies, and there was a battle in the kitchen to prepare a 3-course dinner. The evening was designed in aid of Action Against Hunger and raised £13,000.
They ever do these in London, don't they? I think we're the first one outside of London to do this, and it's always good to get involved in our own charities. So it's good for us, good for the critics to come up here and cook, good for the chefs and the restaurateurs that are out there tonight eating, hopefully going to have a nice meal. Well, they can either have the beetroot and goat cheese tart, or we've got a spring onion risotto with grilled tomatoes, and we're doing linguine with pickled butternut squash, walnuts, blue cheese and pear.
That's all from me in entertainment. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks very much there, Jenny. Oh, that food looked delicious, didn't it, Tiffany?
Yes, it did, Jamie, making me very hungry. Now, on to sport. Lots to talk about this week with Manchester's very own version of El Clasico.
Yes, and it wasn't good news for the Red Devils. Manchester United lost 3-0 to rival City last night at Old Trafford.
It is the latest setback in their season, and there have been more manager calls for David Moyes to be sacked.
On Twitter, Brian said, "As we, the Manchester United supporters, mourn, we beg for the firing of David Moyes. He's not the man for the job."
Dale Anderson wasn't happy with the post-match comments, adding, "Wow, Moyes saying United should aspire to play like City, not the best thing to say after a derby defeat."
But Ross Lightbody tweeted, "Bad season as a United fan, but we've known for years when Fergie left it was going to be hard. Need to stick by Moyes for a few more years."
Two titans of rugby league locked horns on Monday night as the University of Salford took on their Manchester counterparts. Salford went on to claim their fourth varsity title in a row. Samir Tarui opened the scoring, quickly followed by Higgins diving over in the corner. Alex Davidson failed with both conversions, but then powered over to bring Salford to a 14-0 lead on the half-hour mark. Davidson then added a drop goal before Manchester brought themselves back into the game.
Tries either side of half-time from Bates and Thomas reduced the deficit to 5 points. With the game on a knife edge, tensions started to rise. A David's penalty settled Salford nerves before Will Evans darted over from close range to put the result beyond doubt. And there was still time for Salford to add to their total, and a breakaway try from Warren was salt in the wounds for a tired Manchester team as Salford cruised to a comfortable 27 points to 10 victory.
From a festival rugby to a festival of music and dance, an international celebration took place at the University of Salford. Marina Heristova went to Robert Powell Theatre to find out more.
From West African instruments like djembe and kora through Egyptian music and Uzbekistani dancing, followed by Jewish and Ukrainian music and lots of samba in the end, many had the chance to feel and experience the worldwide mixture of rhythmic traditions. Not only did they have the chance to watch and listen to international dance and music, but also to perform themselves. The International Festival of Music and Dance serves as the highest site of a community engagement project. The festival celebrates the diversity amongst different nations and stimulates the relationship between music, community and identity. But what makes you participate in such kind of festival?
Because we feel like drumming is inclusive, anyone can do it, and we think that the impact is immediate. So if you had a whole bunch of drums, kids, anyone could start playing quite complex rhythms from quite early on. So it's the impact is immediate.
Students from the University of Salford also joined the festival.
But I think actually playing and doing along to it was actually the best part of it, because obviously everyone's interactive, everyone's doing it, and it's like a communal thing, everyone's coming together doing it, so that's pretty cool. Yeah.
The international festival that took place on the 21st of March shows how people can remain the same in the diversity through music and dance. For Quays TV News, Marina Christova.
And now it's over to Helen with the weather. It's been a lovely day today, Helen. Do you think you could give us some good news for the rest of the week?
It's kind of mixed, but there is some good news in there. The weather is looking mixed as we go into the weekend, with showers but also plenty of sunshine. Temperatures are on the rise as well. After a dry and sunny morning, this afternoon is going to change. The cloud will increase with showers developing in places. Some of these could turn wintry over the hills and it'll feel fairly chilly with highs of 8 degrees. A cold night follows tonight with showers continue across many parts of the region. These could be heavy at times, some localised frost in the morning, so make sure you give yourselves extra time before you go to work. Tomorrow will start off cold and icy, sunshine and showers across the region with a risk of hail and thunder which will be wintry on higher ground in Cheshire. The weather is looking better for the weekend. It will gradually turn warmer with plenty of dry weather and sunshine. Patchy rain at times most likely to be on Friday, leading to a pleasant weekend with highs of 16 degrees. Back to you, Tiff.
Thanks very much there, Helen. Now, tomorrow Quays News will be taking part in the Global News Relay, a 12-hour news marathon involving 10 institutions over 8 countries.
It's really exciting stuff. We'll be kicking off at 9 a.m. here in Salford and moving on to countries like Malaysia, Jakarta, the USA and returning to Salford for 9 p.m. Be sure to tune in at quaysnews.net.
Well, that's all from us today. Don't forget to follow us at Quays News on Twitter and visit our website quaysnews.net.
Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.